G'day guys, so salmon season's just about in full swing and there's some really good salmon getting around at beaches at the moment. We're having a ball. Last couple of videos I've been doing, I've been getting a lot of questions about what kind of lures I use, what kind of rod and all that kind of stuff, so I just thought I'd do a quick run through of the gear I use. We'll start with lures. First off, I really like just a metal slug like this one. It's a Spaniard Raider 40, they weigh in at 30 grams and they're real good because you can cast them an absolute mile, and like if there's not big bait balls around and they're not too fussy, they'll just hit them. They're good for just searching out water too, like you cast them to see if there is anything around if you can't see a school or any bait fish around. Another option is to go heavier. This one here, it's the same sort but it's a 65, and they weigh in at 55 grams. I also run a little swivel, and I find that helps with not breaking your leader when you're casting all day. Another good option, which I did really well on last time, is a soft plastic. That's a Z-Man one in Bad Shad. It's about, I think they're 3-inch ones, 2.5, 3 inches. Just whatever I found matching the hatch works the best, because last time there was all these little blue bait fish, I suppose they would have been, and like I wasn't getting any hits on the bigger lures, and I went to a little Halco Twisty, which I'll show you in a minute, and they were doing well, but the soft plastic absolutely, it just came. As soon as I put them on, I was getting smashed on the drop and everything. I like the 1 ounce jig heads just because they're big, and if they're further out you can cast them right out there to get them, but if they're in close and if it's nice and calm, you could always use a 1/4 jig head. Alright, so this is the Halco Twisty. It's pretty basic. I think everyone's seen one of them before. I've tried something different here, which I've seen a few people do. I've run the 2 single hooks. That worked really well actually. I was surprised how well it worked. Usually I'll just leave the trebles on and go with the trebles, because I have used singles before and once the salmon was jumping, I seemed to be losing a lot of fish. As for colours, if you're not using a soft plastic, then something that's nice and shiny, really. It's that flash is what really attracts them, and they love that. But if not, a little blue pattern on it, or this green pattern here, that's another one. It's just a cheapo lure. It's like $7 or something, you know what I mean? This is another good soft plastic in a paddle tail. It's good colour, it's got the green on it, white below. Looks like a real good bait fish. Other options are you can use hard body lures. These are pretty big ones. That was another cheap $10 special from BCF. But yeah, it does the job. If you want to go more expensive, the X-Wrap in the Ghost, long cast, and you can cast them an absolute mile just like those slugs, and they also do really well as well. So now for the gear I use, I like to keep it nice and light. I have used long rods before, and they are good for getting your little ride out there, but most of the time it's not that far out you need to cast anyway. So, and if they are further, you can always get into the water and get a bit wet anyway. So the rod I like to use is this Black Hole amped snapper version. It's super light, and the line weight is 10 to 20 pounds. Lure is 10 to 40 grams. It is 2.16 meters long, so just over 7 foot long, and you can cast slugs and all that stuff a mile with it. So it does the job for me. It's a one piece. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is, it's light and you can have a heap of fun with it. You can be casting all day with it and it doesn't worry you. It's just the better option than going a real long rod and lugging around a huge rod when you don't really need it. So it's more fun on a light rod anyway. The reel I like to use is my Daiwa Black and Gold 3000. I have 20 pound on it at the moment. You can go a lot lighter than that. I was just using it for gummies and stuff as well. And the leader I like to go is just 10 pound. It's sufficient, does the job. I've never been busted off by anything. I've busted off a few lures, but since I've put on those swivels on the end, it's fixed the problem at all. So that's really the gear I like to use. These reels are good too, by the way. They're not overly expensive. You've probably seen one of my videos. I absolutely swamped this thing, and listen to it, perfect. All I did was give it a real rinse down, took the top off, blew out all the sand with the air compressor, and it's perfect once again. So that's the gear I like to use. Time of day, I really prefer to fish early mornings for a couple of reasons. One, there's no one around. Two, I feel that either in the morning or the afternoon, the salmon seem to push up onto the beach more and looking for food in the gutters. So it makes the best sense to me to fish that time of the day. Also, high tide, I like it when there's more water up on the beach, and you don't have to worry about casting right out up to back or anything like that. More water on the beach brings more food, and that's where the salmon are going to be. They're going to be in the gutters hunting for the food. So I learned something last time. I've seen a whole heap of birds, like in packs of 10 to 20, just flying along in the same direction, and I just kept thinking, where are they all going? What's to go here? So I wasn't catching anything where I was. I'd covered a heap of ground already. I was kind of getting over it. So I thought, I'll go for a drive, and I stopped in at a spot, and sure enough, I got down to the bottom, and there was a huge bait school right in close, and I was like, this is perfect. And then it clicked that all these birds were flying to this one spot to find all this bait. So if you see heaps of birds flying in the one direction, you kind of know, well, there must be a big bait school or salmon around or something like that. You know, they're obviously hunting for something. So pay attention to stuff like that as well. So the types of retrieves I like to do with the metal slugs, I like to cast them right out. I start with a straight one, and then I'll, good pace, bring it in. Let it sink just a little bit, and then see how that goes. I'll fan them out, one there, like that. Do 5 to 10 casts into one spot. If you got nothing, walk down the beach 20 meters, do the same thing again. I think that's the best. If you can see fish and you're not getting hits, and you're wondering what's going on, try different retrieves, let it sink, burn it off the top, either gun it off the top or anything like that. Soft plastics, you don't work them like a normal soft plastic with a cast out, lift, well, whatever sort of thing. That's never really worked for me. I think the best for soft plastics is casting them out, let them sink, giving a real big one to, if there's anything around, they'll catch their attention again, and then just wind them into a good slow roll. Then if that doesn't work, if they're in close, and you don't need a huge jig head, put on something little, cast it out, and let it slowly fall down the water column, and it'll get smashed. That's what was happening to me last time. Another good tip I find is instead of walking and covering heaps of distance, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. I found it didn't last trip, so I went for a drive, like I said. But you can, along the 90-mile beach, there's plenty of places where you can say drive, a K, whatever, and get out of your car, go up to the top of the dunes, have a look around. Do you see bait fish? Do you see a school of salmon? Yes, no. If you do, fish it. If not, get back in your car, drive another 500 metres, a K down the road, have another look, and if there's nothing there, or if there is, I think that's a good way to cover ground quickly and efficiently. So another thing I want to touch on is how much fish you take. You see on Facebook some blokes go fishing and they have a real good session. They'll, catch their bag limit and they'll keep them all. Use your right to take your bag limit and do whatever you want with it, but you got to be a bit smart about it, in my opinion. If we get down the track and we're whinging, there's no salmon this year, well, I wonder why, sort of thing. So myself, I release all my fish unless I'm going to do gummy shark fishing, but not this time of year, so all my fish go back. So just be smart about it and catch and release if you're not hungry. So that's about it, guys. Just a quick little rundown. Hopefully that's helped a few people out. I've been getting a lot of questions, personal messages and all that kind of stuff, so hopefully that sorts you out. If not, ask in the comments if you've got any more questions. It's perfect time of year to get out there and do it. There's plenty of schools around and some decent fish, so should be plenty of fun. Like always, if you could like, subscribe and share this video, that'd be really appreciated. Till the next one, see you then. Bye.